What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Look, today I'm reacting to Tommy G, and he's inside the world of scammers and check fraud. So let's see what's going on with this right now, and let's see what he got going, bro. Fucking my boy Tommy hanging with scam.
Y'all ready to ride? Man, shout out America, man. I couldn't do this without y'all, man.
What did man just say? Shout out to America. That he couldn't do this without America.
Man, shout out America.
And he did say shout out to America. Okay.
Man, I couldn't do this without y'all, man. We just show y'all what y'all could do if y'all wanted to get rich.
The couple's American dream quickly turned into a nightmare after wiring nearly $800,000. All of that money went to a scammer.
Crazy though, like somebody wiring 800,000 to somebody, bro. Like how? Like what just made you be like, okay, I'm gonna wire 800,000, bro? Like what?
How many times a week would you say you punch a meal?
7 times a week, every day.
Oh my god. Is that your fork or what is that for chicken?
Whoa!
12 people are facing more than 100 charges in a major credit fraud scheme.
University student accused of stealing more than $500,000 in a credit card scam.
It's shocking video of thugs chasing a mail carrier. Why? It's believed they wanted the master key he carries that opens mailboxes for the entire neighborhood.
25 investigates exposing a check scam that can wipe out your bank account.
We're talking about scammers who can clone any of our voices using artificial intelligence.
We are talking about $100,000 in forged checks.
Whether it's a scam call center from India, a billionaire's Ponzi scheme, a guy pretending to be a Nigerian prince, or a U.S. senator out trading hedge funds while employed on the taxpayer dime,
I ain't gonna lie though, these scammers getting advanced now, bro, and it's crazy though. Like in this generation, it's like so many people like just doing this scam shit that this shit is like almost a norm though, which is like crazy to me though. I don't even care. Like all the young niggas and everybody doing this shit.
Truth is, people hate getting scammed. After all, there are entire YouTube channels dedicated to getting revenge on scammers. You see, scammers are people that leverage social engineering, also known as human hacking, to steal, manipulate, and exploit. They'll make their approach, get you to trust them, then before you know it, they'll disappear into thin air after they've extracted your bank account, social security, or other valuable information. Today, we dive into the world of fraud and scamming, and we uncover how some of the scams are happening right now. We'll cover the biggest scam that's ever occurred in U.S. history, and we'll talk to the scammers to see how they think and what motivates them.
And it's crazy too how the scammer just real deal. Now, okay, the Tommy G dude, like what if he was the feds or Tommy G was working with the feds and he just got in with them to get this documentary and they just roll in on them after that? Like, bro, like that's how you know these scammers just don't need to be current no more. But I feel like Tommy G ain't really doing it. But I don't know though. I feel like if I was one of these people though, for like I'd be scared to even do some shit like that. Like, bro, why you wanna come interview us? Like, what?
By the end of this, we'll provide you with tips on how you can avoid getting scammed yourself. This is the world of scammers. Let's dive in.
There are people out there looking to exploit your data for their own gain. With scammers like this out there lurking, it's a good idea to protect yourself. To guard against shenanigans like this, I use the sponsor of today's video, Delete Me, to help keep my footprint off the internet. What Delete Me does is they go after the data aggregators that are out there on the internet that are trying to sell your information. With nutcases out there trying to dox you and steal your bank information, you've got to take action. When you use my promo code of Tommy20, you get 20% off of your subscription. Because when it comes to your banking, where you live, your personal information, you gotta protect yourself. And now, back to the episode.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Folks, today we're diving into the world of scamming. I don't know what the hell we're gonna get into. I'm excited, but apparently in the city of Minneapolis, scamming is a big business.
Minneapolis woman calls it emotional hacking. Scammers drained $800,000 from her dad's bank account.
Damn, though, how like what? I don't even understand how. Like, okay, so with you wiring this shit, like I wonder could like the scammers just do that by themselves, just wire the shit to themselves, or how would they go, or do they have to actually have that person to wire? I don't fucking know, but how 800K?
LaSalle University student accused of stealing more than $500,000 in a credit card scam.
Foster was doing fake transactions, marking items up in price, then returning them for the original price while pocketing the difference in account of her own.
In fact, there are multiple RICO cases going on for fraud right now. A big scam that was pulled was the food share program. People pretended to be feeding the homeless and walked away with millions of dollars, and now they're getting RICO'd for that. A scammer is kind of like an illegal magician. They're pulling things out of thin air. There's illusion, deception, and before you know it or realize what they did, they're gone with the bag. Let's meet up with these guys and let's see what they're about.
Gold medal flower.
Yo, my boy.
Is that you?
Yeah, this me right here.
I'm in that rental car, that white car.
Alright, bet I'm finna walk over there.
Okay, yeah, door's unlocked.
So these folk actually got footage of these folk calling each other and shit too though, okay.
Yo, what's up, bro? I just know.
Then they got his name. Then they gonna say some Quan scammer. Like, bro, why y'all put the body name? Y'all could have put anonymous or something.
Money. Simple.
What are the different plays we're gonna be getting into today?
We got punches, simple things. We go from getting food. We can go from gas. We can go from checks. We go from transfers. Scam work. It's all different type of ways you can get into it.
So what got you into this world?
Alright, so look, it started when I was younger. It was this rapper, his name TJX6. When I was young, real young, I always just listened to his music and wondered, what the is this dude doing? I started getting into it, digging in, and it started with cards. If you listen to his music, he's talking a lot about cards and checks, really. When he was talking about that, I kind of picked up on some things, and over time, I just got smarter and smarter and figured everything out.
So what was the first play you ever made?
It was on Telegram. It was this African dude I met. And we was talking for a long time, and he told me something called, it's a certain type of check that you can order off a login. Ship the check till it dropped. I picked it up, put it in the ATM, 6,900 came. That was my first ever play. And ever since then, I've just been on it.
Has this ever put you in a risky situation?
Plenty of time. Pretty much scamming down here is pretty popular. I mean, in the city, everybody knows what's going on now, so if you find somebody that wants to do it, they know what they're signing up for. They know what comes behind it.
Are there rich scammers out there?
And yeah, and that's how it is too though. Just like where I live in Memphis, bro. Like a lot of these people be knowing what's going on, bro, but they be knowing what would come behind this shit. So they don't be minding doing it. They be like, bro, as long as I can make some type of bread, they cool. They were like, man, even if they gotta repay this shit later, they cool. They cool with repaying this shit later. So they be knowing what coming with this shit though.
You can really get rich off scamming. That's real. Pretty common.
6-figure rich,
7-figure rich. That's real.
Rather than judging these kids, I wanted to try and put myself in their shoes. Now, I know I'm overgeneralizing here, but here's a theory I'm working with. A lot of these kid scammers are from Gen Z, and this is the generation that saw their parents lose their house in the '08 mortgage crisis as the bank executives responsible got rewarded by multi-million-dollar bonuses, and the banks that fundamentally scammed the country got bailed out by the tax money of the very people they scammed. So
and I ain't gonna lie too though, and that's another thing too that you heard a lot of scammers say. Oh, the banks scam you, and the banks do. I ain't even cap. The banks scam you, like just like with these loan payments and like shit like this. They loaning out other people money. Okay, you put your money in the bank, right? Okay, for having your money in the bank, they give you like a 0.002% or 1% interest rate. So basically, you getting pennies over the dollar or whatever. So you getting pennies like just for having your money in the bank account every month or every year or however they go. Versus them loaning out your money, they can loan out what 40, 50,000 of your money, and they getting the 8%, 10%, 20, 15% interest rate on top of their money. So they getting almost like they getting thousands of thousands off your money, and they loaning your shit out. Like if you want a car, like you want a car or whatever, you finance that motherfucker. They making so much money off you. Then if you don't pay that loan, they can always come take that car, sell that car, and still make money off that car. So they gonna get their money regardless.
Essentially, these kids witness a...
And it's a whole lot of other shit too though that banks do, and they getting over on motherfuckers. I ain't gonna cap. So that's why they scam and shit. That's why some of these folks that be scamming don't even be caring.
Financial system that openly didn't give a shit about them or their parents, so heck, why not pull a scam of their own? And kind of explains the sense of nihilism that we've seen creeping into this Gen Z generation. Whether you talk about scammers, the Kia boys, or just an overall sense of I don't give a f, because it seems like the world around them is crumbling. Now, from a cultural standpoint, we've seen the rise of scam rappers, guys like Baby Tron, TJX6, and punchmade Dev, and these are guys who look effortlessly cool, ridiculously rich, and they seem to be easily getting away with scams on major banks and institutions. So yes, it's easy to point the fingers at the scammers you see here, and yes, they have a moral responsibility of what they are doing, but are they not just an underworld byproduct of a system that white-collar scammers created? I don't know. That's just a theory I'm working with.
Do you save much of your money?
Yeah. I'm not scamming long term to be scam guy for the rest of my life. This shit's all like with anything you do, any hustle. All that's just quick until you move on to your next, you feel me, next steps.
Have you ever been almost caught by law enforcement? I'm gonna take the yes.
No.
Pause me think yes.
Think about it, but nah, never.
How much does an IP address come to play with what you do?
It gets deep. That's like your address. I'm gonna know. Like, you feel me? That's like your internet address. So.
For most of the things you do you have to obscure your IP address?
Yeah.
Is that difficult to do?
Nah, average person could do it, I'd say.
So it doesn't affect a human at all, you think?
Everybody has committed a scam before in some way. Some people do different types of scams. Some people do insurance. Some people do home scams. You know, it's all different types of scams. I look at it as I'm not taking money from a human. You know what I mean? And I don't think I'm a bad guy for it. You feel me? Let me see. We just got a package.
How much money are we talking right there?
17K, bro.
Okay. What you're about to see is called punching chicken. Now, punching is lingo in the scam world.
Punching chicken.
That refers to the practice of using the dark web to get somebody else's credit card information and doing an online order to punch the item. You can punch chicken, pizza, presumably anything you can buy online. Here's how it went down.
This is the website that I will buy the cards from to do the punching. Ready to buy cards.
A fake credit card.
A real credit card, but it's just not ours.
And how much money does it have on it?
It depends. I wouldn't necessarily say I know the exact amount. Certain banks, they give you the ability to check. You can call the bank and you can check how much. But I would just be buying a card based off of the knowledge that I already know. There's something called a BIN. A BIN is a bank identification number. Now, depending on what BINs you have, you might got a card that has thousands on it. You might get a card that has millions on it. There's no telling them.
It's luck of the draw.
Basically, yeah.
So are
luck of the draw. Man, it'd be fun if you buy a car for about $100 guy. I only got $5 on the card.
These are cards that someone physically stole, like at the gas station. It fell on the ground, they picked it up, they upload it to a website, and then it sold to a bidder like you, or how does that work?
Basically, yeah, kind of like how you just explained it. I wouldn't necessarily say it comes from people picking them up off of the ground, but more so scammers. They have machines that you can put on, for instance, at the gas station, you can put a skimmer on the machine where the people put their cards into, and then from there, you'll get about 1,000 hits. Now, depending on how many people put their card in that specific machine where you put your skimmer at, that's where all the card information will come from.
Does the skimmer also capture your PIN?
Yes, it does.
So if you use a machine that has a skimmer and you type in your PIN, all of a sudden, you're wide open.
You're good. Yeah, you're not good, you're up.
You're good, though.
Yeah. The thing about, you know, getting captured by a skimmer is if you have the right type of setup with your bank account in terms of two-factor authentication, the bank asking like questions like, was this you that just spent money at Raising Cane's for about $100? You know what I mean? If you have these different types of protocols set up with your bank, then you're less likely to be a victim of fraud.
Basically, right now, you can get free chicken.
I can get free everything right now. Boom. Now we got the money on there. Now I can buy a card.
You can buy social securities off this?
When you buy the cards, depending on how much the card costs, that's why I said certain cards, they range from 20 to 25 all the way up to 30. You can see, look, I'll show you when I refresh.
And I just saw you could buy a Canadian card, you could buy a US card, show you the country.
Wow.
Man, that shit crazy too though.
You can buy from anywhere on the planet as long as the website has a way to get these cards and put them on their site, then you can get pretty much anything.
Have you ever heard of punching a mule?
Punching a mule?
We spoke to legendary lawyer.
What, that man got a gun on his
Punching a mule.
Man got a gun, 2 guns out here. Okay.
Punching a mule?
We spoke to legendary lawyer Bruce Rivers and a man who's a financial crimes expert to get their opinion on the scams you see unfolding in this video.
Punching a mule.
No, I've never heard of that.
That's where you apparently acquire someone else's credit card and you use that to buy free food.
You know, there's a lot of scams going on. There's the skimming that goes on, like at a gas station, somebody attaches a skimmer. That's actually happened to me. Somebody tried to buy some stuff at a sporting goods store, like $2,000 worth of on my credit card. And then I see the guy in court on the hook for it. I mean, I was like, holy shit, that's the guy that stole my identity. Had to trace it all back. We figured out exactly what pump it was. We figured out exactly where it was. And he had been doing this all over the place. So I saw him in Hennepin County in court. And my thing happened in another county. He was doing it all over the place.
A lot of times what's going to happen is you go to try and do a touch pay. It doesn't work. That's part of the plan. They want you to scan your card. So they actually will have a module, something that's identical looking to the actual card swipe, overlaid. Physically go and try and pull it off. If it doesn't pull off, you're good. If you can go inside and pay the gas station attendant, ideally in cash, avoid this whole digital footprint process, you're gonna be a lot safer. You see any sort of fraudulent activity on your account, immediately contact your bank. The sooner that you can contact the authorities, law enforcement, it's gonna be much easier to get your money back. When there's delay in space and time, scam, with any sort of financial scam, it's much harder to get your money back.
If you really want to get specific on which one you want to buy, you can type in your bank identification number.
And that shit is crazy. Like every time when I do go to like a gas station or whatever, I try to go on like the inside, but sometimes when I do have to go outside, like I make sure I pull on the little thing I put my, like I try to do the little chip thing, you know, like where you scan it or whatever, and it just reads your chip or whatever, versus putting my card inside the thing. Like if I do put my card inside the thing, I make sure I pull it off or whatever.
So
I'll try to pull it off and see what's going on.
It's gonna work. This is a bank called Wings Financial Credit Union. Very, very high class bank. So when you're doing simple punching for food and shit, like we talked about, yeah, Kings might take $100 loss today, but that person whose card I'm using, they're getting all their money back. 100% guaranteed.
Well, I've heard people that get scammed and it can take 30 days for them to get the money back in their account. The average American has $1,000 or less in their savings. So if you scam the average American and rent's due, they might not have it because of the scam.
You are right. But in terms of them never getting their money back, I know for a fact that they'll get their money back. Somebody just texted and said he's seen the police. Tommy, somebody just texted him and said the police. Yeah, we gotta get out.
So we're outside of a Cane's Chicken. How often do you guys get free meals like this?
Every day I eat free every day. Everything I do is almost free.
So the customer name is
right? Yes. Thank you. Actually, look. Visa, credit card, 275.
Okay.
We'll go over to the website, same card.
It'd be so crazy how they just put in that. I feel like at this point too, Tommy can damn near get in trouble for doing this shit too though. Cause I feel like they showing him how to do the shit and he actually like a part of this shit. I feel like they could get him like for being like. I feel like they could get him for this shit too though, cause he around them doing this shit too though. But I don't know.
Can't make this shit up.
Even though he's just bringing awareness to it.
Just lost $50 because some guy got 50 chicken nuggets.
80, and we finna eat good. Okay, I hear the police.
Hear the police? Let's get out of here.
After successful chicken punching, the fellas decided to take their chicken to a warehouse in a secure location so they could eat their chicken in peace.
Alright, bet we finna go down to the basement and eat.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how illegal was that, what we just did?
That's like a 10, because I fully completed it, you know? And anything that you do that you're doing fraudulent, it's always going to be a 10. The only thing that makes it more secure is that I didn't go in there and swipe a card. So they can't say that I did anything illegal.
If they caught you, what would be the punishment?
You know, it's a white collar crime. I don't think I would get charged with anything really because, Like I said, they don't have any proof of identity, so they will have to drop the case. If they did want to take full action and give me a punishment, it would probably be anywhere from like 5 to 10.
5 to 10 years?
Just for some shit.
What makes it worth it?
Times hard for everybody right now. So it's like, if you ain't got no money, but you got somebody card, you get all good. Just the other day, I got Benny Hannes like this.
Is it that?
But like, I got me some Benny Hannes.
Yeah, 100%. I'm always in and out. I've never been in a spot and they tried to hold me or tell me, oh, we can't give you what you're paying for, you gotta wait a little bit, you know? But in terms of me going into a restaurant and I swipe a card, say that card declines. I swipe another card, I know they're looking at you weird. Give us a second. Matter of fact, you can't swipe any more cards. Just wait right here for us while we get the system set up, right? While they're getting their system set up, they're really calling the police to tell you, like, hey, this guy's in here trying to commit fraud.
So do you even get nervous making a play like this?
Hell no. It's easy, bro. I've been doing this shit since 2017.
All right, let's see if this is real chicken or scam chicken.
Come on.
If you could say a message to the CEO of Raising Cane's, what would you say?
Hey, thank you for the chicken. You fed a lot of hungry people tonight.
I guess big dogs gotta eat. Is that necessary for, is that your fork or what is that for chicken? Whoa! I'm gonna see if punch chicken tastes any different. Actually, this is my first time eating Raising Cane's.
No fucking diddy.
Oh, that is a chicken tender.
Free food tastes good, don't it?
Ooh, and we got the tan too, people.
I'm gonna find these here.
I had something to change around with the car because it weren't grabbing, what is it, the CVV, but we had the code to change that shit around too.
And this is the thing right here where they be going through people like mailboxes. They be having like the key from the mail people, so cause they got a key. Once they get the key, they can literally open every mailbox on whatever block that they be on, to the little blue mailboxes and all that shit. So they be getting chicks and shit out of there.
Yeah, once this nigga wake up, motherfuckers probably gonna get this sent out gone today or tomorrow. I'm gonna give his ass a call, wake his ass up.
So the guy that's sleeping, what role does he play? The guy that's gonna wake up.
So the guy that sleeps plays a very important role. He's the one that do send-outs. Basically, I can't get into too much detail, but he does send-outs for banks and we're able to access logs that way. The best I can describe it is it's the message coming to your phone.
Okay. How hard is it to get your hands on this type of paper?
You can get it. Anybody can get paper like that.
What does it take for this to be legit? Like, is this a tough part of the puzzle, or is this pretty easy part of the puzzle?
One of the easiest parts anybody has access to it.
How many hours a week do you think you work doing this?
I still have fun. I still carry on life. It's probably gonna take hours out of the week. I'll probably save maybe like 10, 15 hours together. Most shit is fast.
What makes someone good at this?
Connection. The more connections you have, the person has something for everything in every field, because there's not just one type of scam to be rich.
Does this profession make you nervous?
No.
Is it risky?
Yeah, for sure. Can't be nervous though.
What's your philosophy on life?
The world is mine. Have fun while you're young.
Is it hard to keep this on the hush? If you're busting big plays, is it hard not to flex it or to talk about it?
Definitely. I'd say that's one of the things. Now I'm getting to the point where I've been.
I feel like is it hard not to flex it? I ain't gonna lie. If you making all this bread too though, bro, like me, I wouldn't be out here showing like if I was making some bread like that, like how much these folks be making this shit. I wouldn't be sitting up here flexing this shit.
Been doing it for me. I don't care anymore. You know, I do it so like I won't even post.
What's your specialty?
Have different specialties. You always level up, so I can't say I have like one good specialty, but I can do anything that I want. That's another thing. I think my good specialty is I can figure out whatever I want to learn. Anything.
Were you good at school?
Yeah, I was good at school.
Did you like school?
Yeah, school was fun.
What do you call yourself?
Baby J.
What's your specialty?
I'm good at talking, really.
Then they giving out they name. Like, bro, why is y'all giving out y'all name? Like, bro, like y'all bullshit. Like, okay, y'all trying to make y'all self anonymous, but anybody that know y'all actual street names for real, And they know y'all in Minnesota too, though. It's crazy that y'all give me y'allself away, bro.
Good talking. You feel me? Everybody play different roles. This is one of my guys right here.
I just want to know what these folks in the comments gonna be saying too, though.
He might come to you, ask you a couple questions. You'll be lying. But basically, this right here is a check that I cooked up. This is like a real check that I made a copy of basically. So let me try to show you. This what it look like originally, and this what it look now. Exact same thing, exactly. And this right here, the way that I'm doing it, a lot of people don't know how to do it this way.
Check fraud. Printing out fake checks, cashing them at a bank.
What normally happens isn't that the person who's doing the fraud is the one cashing it in. Usually they get some unsuspecting person, oh, I can make you a lot of money, and so they write the check to that person. So there's a middle guy in between, and it's usually the person that's unsuspecting, not thinking that it's a fraudulent check, and all of a sudden they go to the bank and they try to get the cash. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's usually the unsuspecting person, not the person who's behind the scheme.
A check fraud is a complicated situation because one of the biggest ways that you can protect yourself is go to the actual post office itself and mail the check. And I would prefer that you don't even mail checks. I really don't think you should be at this point. It has all your information on it. The more space and more distance you have in terms of the transit that needs to occur with that check, the more risk you're gonna have.
What is the penalty for printing fake checks?
It depends upon the loss amount, typically. If it's, and usually it's a felony because it's forgery and theft by swindle. And so if it's, under $2,500, it's probation. Each check becomes a felony count.
They like under 2,500 the probation.
In and of itself, and you get enough of those, it can ultimately be a prison sentence. It really does depend upon the value that we're looking at.
And what can this play be worth?
This one right here was $5,400.
That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm, a piece of paper.
This is just making up a check?
Yeah, it's just me making one.
So you can make any amount you wanted?
Yeah, any amount you want.
Is it going to come out of here?
Yeah, I would imagine.
The bigger you go, the more...
Yeah, once you touch that 10K mark, any scam over 10,000 is where it's serious. That's when it gets serious for real. Check forgery isn't so high of a crime.
How much does this printer cost?
Roughly about like $500.
It's crazy that a $500 printer can turn into thousands and thousands of dollars. They say money doesn't grow on trees, but you are kind of making it look like it does. Someone got the original or a copy of a real check, sold it to you online, and you're printing out that version?
Either that or somebody hit mailboxes.
So look, that's what they talking about. So somebody hit some mailboxes and they probably bought the check from them or whatever.
Two kind of ways to get a check. You can break a mailbox, or there's keys. You could look it up. You could probably find clips of people robbing mailmen to get keys.
In regard to mail carriers, there's been a lot of violence towards them. There's been a lot of robbing of mail carriers and taking the keys that they use in order to open up mailboxes. And there's been all this money put towards these digital defense mechanisms and these electronic keys to use, but that still doesn't necessarily protect the mail carrier themselves. But this applies to everyone. In terms of protecting yourself generally, it's all about not having patterns. For the mail carrier, if you're on a route, just like if I was on a patrol route, if I had the same patrol route, same time, same place, every single day, it's easy for that patrol route to be intercepted. Change and vary your patterns. It's called force protection.
What about when someone hits a mail?
But I thought they had it to where, though, what they did have it to where they automatically make them folks change their patterns, though, because it is stupid if you be around the same neighborhood around the same time every day, bro. Like, of course it'll be easy to accept this shit, though.
Steals the mail keys and steals the checks that way.
Bye-bye. In other words, that's usually done on an inside job basis. Because who's going to steal a mail truck? And know that there are going to be checks on that truck. Probably not too many.
Which is the most risky part of this puzzle?
I say out of all of them, the risky part, 9 times out of 10, you guess the most riskiest part who has the most important role in this particular style is the person who's getting the checks.
So, when you scamming, it's not always like somebody's always we're always the villains. Like, we also helping people. Because we split the money that
the money we never just running off.
We split it 50-50 with them. Just now, right now, look what happened to her.
Someone just said, I swear I got evicted, I gotta get back on my feet, and you said, I got you, cuz. Send me ID. Someone's sending you their bank
Right now, this is right now, look at the time. This today, look, this today.
Some people actually need help, so it's like
I
sometimes.
know people to this day that bring me other people's accounts.
You see how real this look? If you're a big teller, you put that up to the sky, you'll see like, you see me?
Like this is a real one.
This is a real check. Come up and cash this and then get paid for it right now. Actually, they are. Y'all finna see it today.
You like, y'all finna see it today.
We can only fit so much into a YouTube video. All this will be available at Patreon only. Highly recommend you check that out. Link is in the description.
I'm talking about, there's only so much you can fit in a YouTube video. Shit, motherfucker make an hour, 2-3 hour long video.
You say this is up there, Miguel, for things we've done?
Top 3 for sure.
This is fucking ridiculous, dude. I'm not exactly sure what we were about to do, but it feels sketchy. The first scamming video I put out, people are wondering, is this guy for real? Is he scamming us and believing that it's real? But like the casualness of which we're doing some of these things is like,
Oh, see what the fuck going on, man. We cracking accounts, not safe. We are cracking accounts, not safe. It is less dangerous. Do not get killed trying to crack a safe. We crack accounts. Please do not.
So does Minneapolis feel lawless right now?
Certain parts is lawless. I'm not gonna lie, this whole city is known for scamming, that's all. That's like the biggest thing, like even from the politicians to our parents to other people's parents.
How do the politicians scam?
They're in on a lot of shit, they get
the politicians.
They're into like the non-profit frauds and shit. Politicians here, they're dirty too. They play dirty games. Even the police.
I'm still tripping on how these folks real dead got a Mercedes van, a white van too though. Then another thing too though, the folks showing the van too, like, I'm pretty sure like, shit, if they don't switch the, man, they better hope they switch the damn van and get another van or something. You not finna see too many Mercedes vans like coming down the street like that, so.
He's not going to mention some of the biggest scams going on. Here's a look at something that's actively happening in the city right now. Here it is.
One of the largest scams in United States history happened right here in Minneapolis. During the pandemic, the Minnesota Department of Education was tasked with overseeing the handout of meals to kids, the needy, and the homeless during the COVID era, and they delegated local supervision to nonprofits like Feeding Our Future. What happened next was a tsunami of swindling. These nonprofits fraudulently claimed
they get tsunamis?
To be feeding thousands of kids a day within just weeks of being formed. Not only were literal tons of food wasted, but the fraud ended up costing the U.S. taxpayer about $250 million. As of now, there are dozens of people being indicted and brought to trial, and to this day this stands as one of the biggest scams in U.S. history.
On the dirty streets of Minneapolis, mama doing dope, daddy got no hope, he just scared me. The system scammed us out of both our parents. CIA bought dope to the motherfuckers. See? My daddy, they got him out the way. They ain't trying to pay no child support. It's cool though, bro. Cause you know we gonna do, we gonna grind, nigga. This that shit that we love, nigga. We love making that money on. Yeah, we gonna do whatever it takes to make that money on. This shit get wicked out here for real. Yeah, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not gonna say this like I'm the biggest, baddest guy to do this to people and shit. Nah, bro. I just do this to get my people.
Get my people to kill them.
What percentage of scammers would you say are balling, and what percent of them would you say are actually kind of broke?
They're not bullshit scammers. Like, there's always the one main person, then there's the middleman, then there's the middle. You know, like, it's like a tree. One person passes a card to one person, that person gets passed down to the main person. The main person is the one who splits the money to everybody and decides how much everybody else is going to do. So all scammers are not rich. That's another thing. Like, you can be a scammer and not have a way. You feel me? Like, in scam world, there's always a new scam. That's another thing. And it's about who figures out the scam first.
You can't really say it's too many runners. Like, it's like, you always tell, like, when you a scammer, know who a runner and who's boss trying to find new moves.
But don't get it confused. I done seen runners turn into bosses. You feel me? Like, it's a lot of runners that became the man, that man. You feel me? So
yeah, cause they didn't learn. You know what I'm saying? They didn't learn everything that they need to learn, and they just kind of took their own little, you know, Only
Yeah,
way.
scam world, getting slimed out too.
What is that?
Yeah, slimed out, like, say Mexican, brother just did a move, and you like, fuck you, I'm not paying you, or who you brought. It's over with, I'm taking the whole bag. That's what I read was talking about karma yesterday. It's karma and scam world too, right off of somebody. Last time they did it's not what I think it's about, and it's about wiping it down. That's a whole other step. That's what I'm saying, it's not just like easy, you can't just wake up and come, it's not that easy. Now, it's that easy to do basic shit, but it gets deeper than that. It can be a blessing and a curse at the same time, but it just depends on how you break your move. You gotta stay consistent too, you gotta stay consistent with anything you do.
Alright, you're filming.
I'm gonna show y'all some box action.
Scammers operate in a climate of deceit. You see, fraud is a game of smoke and mirrors. These guys ran off with the camera to presumably make an ATM play, and what I saw on the tape left me questioning reality.
That's some great footage. See the police?
Where do you guys see him? Of course, you guys were out there for like fucking 20 minutes in ski masks and glasses.
We had a little technical difficulty. It took us so long. And you'll see the cards start locking on us. But sometimes the card will lock up and then they give you like fraud alerts, which the person has to confirm on their phone.
You guys were skied up with glasses the whole time in front of a bank?
Like, you gotta be.
How is that not, like, do you guys feel like you guys were out there for way too long?
Time limit. And what can they possibly do for real?
One of the things that comes to mind is what we are seeing, is that even real? And what makes me think it is real is that they took 20 minutes outside of this van, they got fraud alerts on their phone. If they were just taking money from their own account, it would have been in and out in a minute or two. But this also brought up more questions.
Now, remember earlier in the episode when I was talking about the sense of nihilism that I have noticed in Gen Z? When they do things like this, their nihilism can come off as quite sinister. I mean, scamming people, banks, grandmas, restaurants, it's pretty crazy. But what I think is the source of all this nihilism is a lack of hope. And why I think a lot of Gen Z has no hope. I mean, this is the first generation in American history that's projected not to do better than their parents. These kids have inherited this world where they can't afford anything, the food, the housing, the college.
Hey, but the thing is though, like the reason why we can't afford like a lot of the food, housing, it's just like because everything's going up in this world. Like everything's going up, prices going up for everything, food, housing. Like back then, you could probably get a nice house for what? 80,000, 100K, 120,000. Now, like a regular size house gonna cost you about 300,000-400,000. And the jobs these days barely paying. Shit, hell, if you got 2 jobs, you still struggling. And it's crazy to me though. And like a lot of people parents like ain't save up no money for their child for when they turn 18. They can be set, they can be able to afford them a house or like none of that, like no trust funds, no savings account, none of that. Like and that's just how it is, bro.
All of it is sky high, and the people making the rules, their government, is this lazy, lousy bunch of bureaucrats that openly cheat all of the time. So a lot of these kids, I think, have just said, F it. The world is fake, the world is a scam, and I'm gonna scam the world. I'm gonna get mine for myself at any means necessary. I'm gonna cheat the system that I feel cheats me.
And this shit true though, because you do got a whole lot of scammers now, and it's just because like everything is so high. And I seen a lot of stuff that's projected to, man, people like kids these days, the new generation of kids, bro, or adults, like they'll never be able to own a house or never like have something going on for real, because it's just like everything is high, and it's just like it ain't no money nowhere, you know what I'm saying? There ain't no money saved up, and it's just our country just fucking us regardless anyway.
But what do I know? I'm just trying to make sense of what I'm seeing and figure out the world. That was a look into the world of scamming. Any final thoughts, fellas?
Man, we didn't give y'all everything. We didn't get a chance to give y'all everything, but and we won't give y'all everything. We love y'all. We don't scam people for a living. We help people out.
We took a deep dive into this world. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Peace. If you want to keep yourself safe on the internet, consider checking out the sponsor of the video, Delete Me, and use code Tommy20 for 20% off your subscription. And lastly, new shirts hit the site. Scoop it up. Big dog summer, baby. Peace.
Well, yeah, Joe, like that's just how it is, bro. I ain't gonna lie though. It's just like a lot of the generation kids or adults now, bro, they is just like, fuck it. Like fuck it, you might as well scam because like the government and the world is already scamming us already. And like you said though, a lot of these kids will never be able to own like their own house one day. It's a lot of shit that they won't even own land. None of this because like everything is like overpriced now. Like you right now, you can go ask somebody like a family member right now. You can go ask them how much they paid for their house. Back in like a couple years ago, bro. Maybe like 2014, 2012. They might be like a house probably was like 100K. A decent sized house in a good neighborhood, 100K, 200K. Probably not even 200K, honestly, in a good neighborhood. But like now, a small house, 500K. And it's just like, bro, like, why? Why is it that much? And then these jobs barely paying and all this shit. So, I don't know. Like, I don't really necessarily like disapprove of what they doing, but I mean, it's not a legit way, but it's reasons to why people not going the legit way because shit, the legit way really ain't paying shit, and it's gonna take them a longer to even be able to afford what they really want to afford. So I understand, but it's not the right way. But I ain't really got too much to say. Make sure y'all drop a like. Let me know how y'all feel about this video, and see y'all guys in the next.